All right, team, welcome. We're going to do a quick run-through of the 2020 AACSB accreditation standards. I want you to think of this as our team's guide. A way to get past all the official language and really see how these standards shape our day-to-day work and, of course, our school's mission. Okay, let's jump right in.
This quote, this right here, is really at the heart of it all. This is the why. See, AACSB accreditation isn't about us just jumping through a bunch of hoops. No, it's our response to a world that is changing unbelievably fast. These standards exist because what we do, business education, simply can't afford to stand still. It really shows how our roles, everyone's roles, are just so critical for getting leaders ready for a future that, let's be honest, is being rewritten as we speak.
So here's the game plan for today. We'll start with why any of this matters in the first place. Then we'll break down the three main pillars of the standards. First, the foundation of our work. Second, the heart of our mission, our students. And third, our impact on the world. And then we'll wrap it all up by connecting everything back to the crucial role that each one of you plays.
Okay, so let's start with that big picture. Why do we even go through this whole process? It's really not just about getting a stamp of approval. It's about our shared commitment to quality and to constantly getting better.
You should think of accreditation less like a checklist and more like our shared language for what excellence looks like. It's a framework that is always pushing us to improve. And what's really key here are these guiding principles. Everything we do has to be driven by our unique mission, it needs to have a positive impact on society, and of course, it all has to be grounded in ethics. This isn't just a list of words. This is basically our DNA.
Let's move on to our first pillar. This is all about the bedrock of our school. The strategy, the faculty, and the resources that really make everything else we do even possible.
Everything, and I mean everything we do, starts with our mission. It's not just some fancy statement we put on the website. No, under Standard 1, our mission has to be this living, breathing guide that directs every single decision we make. We're talking how we spend money, who we bring on board, everything. And every single one of us has a hand in bringing that mission to life.
This brings us to a really important question, especially for us as a team. The standards are pretty specific about what makes a faculty qualified, because, well, you're the engine of everything we do.
What's so important to get here is that AACSB values lots of different paths to excellence. It's not one size fits all. You can see the four main categories here. You've got your scholarly academics, who are the engine for our research, but you've also got practice academics who keep us deeply connected to what's happening in the industry right now. And just as vital are our scholarly and instructional practitioners who bring that incredible current real-world experience right into the classroom. It's this mix, this blend, that truly makes us strong.
And this number, 40%, it's pretty important. So what this means is that the standards have a guideline that, for most of our disciplines, at least 40% of our faculty should be scholarly academics, or SAs. Why? Well, it ensures that all of our programs are built on a really strong foundation of rigorous, peer-reviewed research. It's all about keeping that critical balance between academic theory and real-world practice.
Okay, let's shift gears to our second pillar. And this is truly the heart of why we're all here, making sure our students succeed. This is all about what happens both inside and outside the classroom.
So under Standard 4, a great curriculum isn't just about covering certain topics. It has to be looking ahead, it needs to have a global perspective, and it's got to be packed with hands-on, learn-by-doing experiences. And maybe most importantly, it should spark this mindset of lifelong learning, preparing our students not just for that first job, but for a whole career. This is where our course design and our teaching really get to shine.
But how do we actually know if our curriculum is working? Well, that's where this thing called assurance of learning, or AOL, comes into play. And I want to be crystal clear. This is not about bureaucracy or paperwork. It's a really practical tool, a feedback loop, to help us make our programs even better.
And this shows you exactly how it works. It's a simple but really powerful cycle. First, we define what we want students to be able to do. Then, we measure if they can actually do it. We take a hard look at the results, and then, this is the most important part, we use that data to make real, tangible improvements in our courses.
Now, to get the whole story, AOL uses two different kinds of evidence. Just think of it like this. Direct measures are things we can see for ourselves, right in the students' work, their exams, their projects. But the indirect measures, that gives us the crucial outside perspective. It's what employers, what alumni are telling us about how well our graduates are actually doing out there. Using both gives us that complete 360-degree view of what's working and where we need to focus.
All right, let's move on to our third and final pillar. This is where we look outward. It's all about our contribution to the bigger business conversation and our impact on society as a whole.
This is a huge shift in how we think about intellectual contributions. Standard 8 makes it absolutely clear. It is no longer about just counting how many articles we publish. The new gold standard is impact. The question is, are we contributing to business theory, practice, and teaching in a way that actually matters? This quote from the standards document just nails it. The ultimate test for our research, for our thought leadership, is its relevance. Are we helping to solve real-world problems? That's the question we are all being asked to answer with our work.
And Standard 9 takes this idea and makes it even broader. See, societal impact isn't just about research papers. It's about everything we do, the whole shebang. It's the community projects our students are leading. It's the consulting our faculty does. It's the ethical leaders we send out into the world. It is, quite simply, about being a force for good.
So, what does this all mean for you, for me, for us? Let's bring it all home and look at the specific ways that each of us contributes to this big vision of excellence.
Your work is the engine of our accreditation. Seriously, when you connect a course assignment to our AOL goals, you're doing it. When you take a minute to document how your research is being used out there in the real world, you're doing it. Every time you join a strategic discussion or create an amazing project with one of our partners, you are actively bringing these standards to life.
So, I'll leave you with this question to think about. Accreditation isn't some destination we visit every few years. It's the outcome of the amazing work we do every single day. So, as you start thinking about the next semester, just ask yourself, how will my work, my unique contribution, help push our collective mission forward? Thanks, everyone.